Option 1 is correct. Everybody is saying yes. Option 1 is correct. Why option 1 is correct? Pi is a constant. Pi is a constant which is common for everyone throughout the world. Throughout the world. So what we said, all the constant values must and should have to write in the form of uppercase letters. Uppercase letters. Very good. So that is one of the recommended rule of Java. And you know the difference between variable initialization and variable declaration. Okay, and then we have seen data type. Data type simply specifies, allocates the size of memory required for a data, and it specifies the type of data that is going to present in this particular memory is defined by data type. If you want to have a meaningful syntax, it should be a combination of data type and along with its variable name. This is what we have discussed. And then we have seen various types of data types, primitive data types and non-primitive data types. In primitive data types, if a data type will store only maximum of one value, I can say it is a primitive data type. If a data type stores more than one value, I can call it as non-primitive data type. This non-primitive data type is classified into derived data types and user-defined data types. Derived data types are the data types which will store more than one value, and whose implementation is based on the concept of primitive data types. Simply, for example, I am saying that మీకు ఆల్రెడీ తెలుసని చెప్తున్నాను. ఇంటీజర్ అరే అంటాం. సింటాక్స్ రాయట్లేదు, జస్ట్ రాస్తున్నాం. ఇంటీజర్ అరే అంటున్నాం, మీనింగ్ దట్ this array is a collection of integers. What are these integers? These integers are derived from primitive data types. That is the reason I am saying that these are from derived data types. String is a collection of characters. What is a character? Character is a primitive data type. So collection of primitive data type called character is called as a string. Next, user defined data type. These are the data types defined by using both primitive data types and derived data types. In C language, if you see, structure, union, enum, all will come under the concept of user defined data types. And if you take the language of Java, classes, interfaces are comes under user defined data types. Okay na? సో జావాకి, సి లాంగ్వేజ్కి, సి++కి డిఫరెన్స్ ఎక్కడ వస్తుందంటే ఇక్కడమ్మ. కమింగ్ టు ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ యూజర్ డిఫైన్డ్ డేటా టైప్స్. దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ డేటా టైప్స్ సపోర్టెడ్ బై ది జావా. What about byte? Is C language supports byte? No. Meaning that Java supports one extra primitive data type, that is byte. Okay, fine. I hope you understood. Next, if we go in detail about the data types, primitive data types, non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types contains more than one character, more than one value. String contains more than one value because collection of characters. Arrays contains more than one value because collection of values that can be either integer values, that can be either float values, or that can be either a character values, or it can be anything. So it's called as non-primitive data. Such as classes and interfaces are also comes under non-primitive data types, and these non-primitive data types are user-defined data types. Let me go in detail in the next class. Okay, so these primitive data types are classified based on the type of values it is storing. One is boolean. Means these numeric type will store more than two values. More than two values means like the status of a value, the possibility of the variable status. The possibility of variable status is only for two values. Those two values are either true or false. అలా పాసిబిలిటీ మోర్ దెన్ టూ పాసిబిలిటీస్ ఉంటే, టూ పాసిబిలిటీస్ ఉంటే అవన్నీ కూడా మళ్ళీ ఈ కేటగిరీకి తీసుకొచ్చారు. టూ క్యారెక్టర్స్ తీసుకొచ్చారు. దీంట్లో మళ్ళీ మనం ఏం చేసాము, క్యారెక్టర్స్, ఇంటిగ్రల్. క్యారెక్టర్ data type we can represent with the help of a char, and it allocates 2 bytes of memory. It allocates 2 bytes of memory. Boolean allocates 1 bit of memory. Either to store only true or false. True and entama simply 1, false means 0. T or false. The default value of Boolean is always false. Is always false. Okay na? Fine. So you will have a question like, sir, in C language, character data type is allocating 1 byte of memory. 1 byte of memory. Why Java is allocating character data type 2 bytes? Can anybody answer for this question? Because of Unicode system. Very good. Because of Unicode system. Yes. What do you mean by Unicode system? Generally, so నిన్న కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్ చెప్పడం వల్ల కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్కి వెళ్ళిపోయానమ్మా. జనరల్గా మనము ఏదైనా ఒక కోడ్, ఆ కోడ్ ఏంటి, దట్ కోడ్ కెన్ బి ఏ హై లెవెల్ లాంగ్వేజ్ కోడ్. That code can be a high level language code which can be understood by the user directly. So what we need to do, we need to convert it into machine language code to understand by the system understand చేసుకోవడానికి దాన్ని మెషిన్ కోడ్ లో కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తాం. అంతేనమ్మా. జనరల్ గా మనం సి లాంగ్వేజ్ ఏం చేస్తున్నామంటే, ఇన్ సి లాంగ్వేజ్ వీఆర్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ఎ స్ట్రక్చర్ కాల్డ్ యాస్కీ స్ట్రక్చర్. యాస్కీ కోడింగ్ సిస్టమ్. యాస్కీ కోడింగ్ అంటే ఏం చెప్పొచ్చు అంటే, అమెరికన్ standard code for, my abbreviation is important for competitive exams, American standard code for information interchange. It is a one kind of coding convention system used and developed by the United States, and in European they have developed ISO 88591, in Russia KOI 8. Okay, so the why Unicode system has developed means, because if I write, for example, in Unicode system, for example, in Unicode system, capital A can be, they can write as capital A, and they can be converted into some 110. Let us do. In European language, that same capital A can be converted to 1101. In Russian language, that same A can be converted into 1100. Exactly kadam. Just cheptunanu. Means this is for simple data. What I am saying is, for simple data, there is no problem. For simple data, there is no problem. But if you take large character sets, these will have variable length. Small data తీసుకుంటే అన్నిటికీ కూడా, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 8 bits allocate చేస్తున్నాం, ఈ ASCII కానీ, యూరోపియన్ కానీ, రష్యన్ కానీ. బట్ ఇఫ్ యూ గో ఫర్ లార్జ్ క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్, it may increase its capacity to 16 bits. Means for small a sometimes it allocates 8 bits. Sorry, for capital A sometimes it allocates 8 bits. For same capital A sometimes it allocates 16 bits based upon the input that you have given. It may allocate 8 bits or it may allocate 16 bits sometimes. Means we don't know exactly how much amount of memory it is allocating, either 8 bits or 16 bits. Obviously ASCII is allocating 8 bits only, but these will don't know exactly how it is going to allocate. So to overcome this drawback, in order to avoid confusion over how much amount of memory space allocating, so the maximum amount of space required for a data is 16 bits. So to overcome this, Unicode system has developed that, have overcome that same problem by allocating 2 bytes of memory for a character. So what do you mean by Unicode system? Universal International Standard Code. Universal International Standard Code. Okay, na? What is the default value present in character? It's a 16-bit Unicode character. They are using important points. కొంచెం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి 16-bit Unicode character. 16-bit Unicode character means it will always allocates 4 zeros to F. అంతే కదమ్మా 0 to F అంతా వస్తాయి 16 వస్తాయి. Okay, fine. Next, go for the another one, integers. In integral, it is classified into two types based on storing of whether these are whole numbers or whether they are fractional numbers. If they are whole number, they are all comes under integers. Fractional numbers comes under floating. Fractional numbers comes under floating. Byte. Byte is a 8-bit signed 2's complement number. Can anybody answer why I am saying that it is an signed 2's complement number and why I am representing every bit in the form of a 2's complement number? Because 2's complement number, with the help of 2's complement number, I can represent a number in two ways, both positive number as well as negative number. ఆ నెంబర్ని పాజిటివ్ నెంబర్గా రిప్రజెంట్ చేయొచ్చు లేదా నెగిటివ్ నెంబర్ కూడా రిప్రజెంట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇది ఎలాగో మీరు డిఎల్ఏలో చూస్తుంటారు. అవునా? ఎస్. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ 8-bit. 8-bit మీన్స్ ఇక్కడ మీరు సింపుల్ చూసుకుంటే -2^7 ప్లస్ 2^7-1. Short is an 16-bit signed 2's complement number. -2^15 plus 2^15-1. Int is a 32-bit signed 2's complement number. -2^31 plus 2^31-1. Long is an 64-bit signed 2's complement number. Means whose range is -2^63 to plus 2^63-1 inclusive. Means జనరల్గా మీరు ఏదైనా ఒక జావా ప్రోగ్రామ్ లేదా సి ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయబట్టి మీరు ఆల్వేస్ ఏం చేస్తారమ్మా, ఇంట్ ఎప్పుడు ఏ వేరియబుల్ క్రియేషన్ కానీ కంపల్సరీగా న్యూమరికల్ అంటే ఇంటీజర్ రాస్తారు, క్యారెక్టర్స్ అంటే క్యారెక్టర్స్ రాస్తారు. మీరు ఎందుకు షార్ట్ యూజ్ చేయట్లేదు లేదా బైట్ యూజ్ చేయట్లేదు, లాంగ్ యూజ్ చేయట్లేదు? జనరల్లీ ఎవ్రీబడి విల్ యూజ్ ఇంట్ ఓన్లీ బికాస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ద మోడరేట్ వాల్యూ విచ్ విల్ సపోర్ట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. యూజర్ సాటిస్ఫై రేంజ్ కంపల్సరీ ఇదే. But it is always recommended industry to take the approximate data type. Means if your value is range from like మీరు స్టోర్ చేయాలనుకున్న డేటా something like -20, -20 రేంజ్ ఏంటమ్మా, -2^7 plus 2^7-1 లో ఉంటుంది కదా. Then you can use byte. Okay, so byte ఎంత డేటా ఎంత మెమరీ ఆక్యుపై చేస్తుంది? Byte will occupy only 1 byte of memory. Short 2 bytes, exponential increase అవుతుంది. Int 4 bytes, long 8 bytes. I have a question here. For 32-bit architecture, int is occupying 4 bytes of memory. What about 64-bit architecture? Same. Yes. Why same? Because so here the answer is 4 bytes only. Because Java language is one of the features of Java language is architectural neutral. What do you mean by architectural neutral? Irrespective of its architecture, it always allocates same amount of memory space for any kind of data type. Sorry, not for any kind of data type, for integer data type or for long data type, for like that. I hope you understood, right? Yes. So if if you don't have enough space to allocate your input in byte, then only you have to move for sort. If you don't have enough amount of memory required for sort for a value, then only you have to move for int. Int కూడా సరిపోలేదు, then only you have to move for long. Then only you have to move for long. అలా కాకుండా ప్రతి దానికి కూడా int రాసేయద్దండి. Your main intention is to like utilize the memory effectively. Efficient యూజ్ చేయాలన్నప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ట్రై ఫర్ బైట్. బైట్ సరిపోలేదని అనుకుంటే then you go for the sort. If it is not enough, go for int. Then go for long. అంతేగాని ప్రతి చిన్నదానికి కూడా ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎంటర్ యువర్ ఏజ్, ఎంటర్ యువర్ ఏజ్, ఎంటర్ యువర్ ఏజ్ అంట. ఈ ఏజ్ ఎంటర్ చేయనున్నప్పుడు నేను ఏ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ డేటా టైప్ ఈజ్ ఇనఫ్ మా? ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇనఫ్ ఫర్ మీ టు టేక్ బైట్ డేటా టైప్, బైట్ ఏ, దట్స్ ఇట్. వై? బికాస్ there is no person, I mean, let's assume in nowadays there is no person who is not going to live more than 127 years. 127 years కన్నా ఎక్కువ బతికే వాళ్ళు అయితే ప్రెసెంట్ ఎవరు లేరు. సో 127 years కన్నా తక్కువ ఉంటారు. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్ డేటా టైప్ సఫిషియెంట్ ఫర్ దిస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్? బైట్ డేటా టైప్ ఆర్ నాట్? Yes, ma. Very good. That is what I need. Yes. So try to understand my point. If your input is sufficient for byte, then go for fix with the byte only. Don't go for short. If byte is not enough, then go for short. If short is not enough, then go for int. If int is not enough, then go for long only. అలా ప్రతి దానికి int రాసేద్దండి. Okay. Yes. What is the default value that it is going to store in byte means? Everything is all integers means in every kind of numerical data type always stores only 0. Means 0 is a default data, 0 is the default value. And how much? Here it is going to occupy 1 byte, here it is going to occupy 2 bytes, here it is going to occupy 4 bytes, here it is going to occupy 8 bytes. 8 bytes. Okay. Next, this is all about storing whole numbers. Next, storing fractional numbers. Fractional numbers store cheyadaniki, to store fractional numbers we have two kinds of data types. One is float, another one is double. Another one is double. Okay, fine. How we are going to define, right? So general normal syntax, float only. Double means normal double only. So for example, I am writing float n equal to 22.4 f. What's the meaning of this one? It means n is a float variable. N is a float variable which will store only float values. If I am writing float n equal to 22.4, n equal to 22.4, is it correct? Can anybody answer? Is it correct? Can anybody answer? Why no, Deepti? Because float always suffix with float value always suffix with fm. Try to make remember. Float value always suffix with f. If you are not making suffix with f, then it will consider it as double. Then it will consider it as double. Double means double any bytes of memory occupies num. Float occupies here. Float occupies 4 bytes of memory, similar to integer. Double occupies 8 bytes of memory. 8 bytes of memory. Okay. Is these float and double values are limited or unlimited? Can anyone answer? Is float and double values are limited or unlimited? These values are unlimited. But the difference is this is a 32-bit number. This represents a 64 what we can call. This is a 32-bit floating point and this is a 64-bit floating point. That's it. So this is all about data types. Basic మీకు తెలిసిన data types. Okay, so this is all about primitive data types. If you take anything, this all will store only single value at a time. All will store only single value at a time. Okay, now float లో default value ఎంతమ్మా? Float లో default value store ఎంత అవుతుంది? 0.0 f. Double లో default value 0.0 d. 0.0 d. Okay, fine. Next we will see what do you mean by string and what do you mean by array. మీకు already తెలుసు, but I will go through some basic. Okay, I will take C language and I will go for. Coming to arrays, and another non-primitive data type, arrays. So Java lo kuda malla arrays concept vastundamma. When I encountered this concept, I will explain there in depth. Array is simply a collection of homogeneous primitive data types. Collection of homogeneous primitive data types. Okay. So my intention is not this one. How we are going to create an array in C language? I can define it like this, right? Int primitive data type followed by array of. What is the meaning of this one? ARR array, or to make read, I am going to take A. A is an array, means A is a collection of 10 integer elements. A is an array with collection of 10 integer elements. 10 integer elements. If this array is accepting integer values only, right, it won't accept float values or some other character values. Or I can represent the same thing in different way. I can pass the element value dynamically. It endane danni ekkada sanchi read chestanu and I can pass it to that in dynamic of create set. Or I can create in another way, int equal to, I can simply initialize an array. ఇవన్నీ ఏంటమ్మా వేరియబుల్ డిక్లరేషన్. ఈ ఫస్ట్ వచ్చేసరికి first two are comes under array declaration and this one comes under array initialization. And can I go for another way? Int array of 6 equal to some value 10, 20, 30, 40. The last syntax, is it okay or is there any problem here? So it is going to create an array of size 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 size create. First done lemotunamma. Here it is going to store 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Sorry, 50 is not there, right? Then what is the values here? It is going to place. It is going to place the default values. What are those default values? Default values of integer. 0 and 0 is going to place. So this is the general structure of array. If we take the concept of string means simply we can call it as a, it is an sequence of characters. But to start the concept of classes, I need to compulsory go through sequence, right? So I am just touching this. String is a sequence of characters and it's always terminate with a null character. You should have to write this definition correctly. Null character, that is backslash. I can define like char an array equal to job. ఇలానే అవుతుంది లేదా char c of 5 and write like this. This is what initialization. This is what declaration. Character array. You can call it as character array. Or we can write some dynamic format. Char c of 100. C of 100. C equal to Java. But what is the problem here? Memory is wastage. This is one way. Like this, you can write in multiple ways. So, what I am saying is, what I am concluding from this is, string is also string. String means it can store more than one value. J character, A character, B character, A character. So I can say that string is a non-primitive data type. What about arrays? Arrays can store more than one value of similar data type. So I can call this as array is also a non-primitive data type. Then what do you mean by classes and interfaces? What do you mean by classes and interfaces? Okay, మీకు ఆల్రెడీ అవి తెలుసమ్మా, స్ట్రక్చర్స్ యూనిట్స్ అని తెలుసు కదా. క్లాసెస్ సింప్లీ క్లాసెస్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తున్నామంటే టు రిప్లేస్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ యూనియన్స్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ రిప్లేస్ చేసి ఇక్కడ చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకేనా? సో సింప్లీ యూ కెన్ సే దట్ ఫర్ టైమ్ బీయింగ్ ట్రై టు రిమెంబర్ a class is a user defined data type. Class is a user defined data type. అదే కదా ఇక్కడ చెప్పింది. ఫస్ట్ నేను ఇక్కడ కంబైన్ చేశాను కానీ ముందు తీసుకుని పోతే ఇక్కడ చూసారా, వాట్ డు యు మీన్ బై క్లాస్? క్లాసెస్ అని కాదమ్మా, క్లాస్ కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ క్లాస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ క్లాసెస్. ఓకే, ఇట్స్ ఎ క్లాస్, రైట్? నార్మల్ క్లాస్ ఉంది. క్లాస్ ఈజ్ ఎ కీవర్డ్. Class is a keyword. Okay na? So a class is a what? Class is a user defined data type. Interfaces కాదు, ఇంటర్ఫేస్. అక్కడ కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ అనేటప్పుడు ఇంటర్ఫేస్ అని వస్తుంది. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ is also a user defined data type. So finally you can say that class is a user defined data type and interface is also an user defined data type. Okay, fine. So with this, we started with data types. Data types start chesanu. These data types are chestunnadamma. Next, we are going to start with the concept of classes first. Then I will go through the one by one. Then we will get the concept of interfaces. Okay. So strings, arrays, and class concept cheppali kabatti first I will start with the concept of classes. But to understand the concept of classes, you need to understand the concept of method or methods. Can anyone define what do you mean by method? Method idea unna? Any idea about method? What is the use of method? Nothing but a method. Don't call it as nothing but. Okay. Okay, fine. So what is the purpose of method? The purpose of is to method is to perform particular task. Particular task ని perform చేయడానికి we'll go for a method. అంటే method we can simply call it as, can I call it as collection of instructions or statement? Collection of instructions or statements or not? These collection of instructions or statements ఏం చేస్తాయి? These collection of instructions or statements is going to perform a particular task. A particular task. ఓకేనా? మీకు సింపుల్ గా మీ భాషలో మీకు అర్థం కావాలంటే function. The purpose of function is to perform a particular task, and function definition is collection of instructions or statements. Means where we are calling the same thing as function means in C language we'll call it as a function. In Java language we'll call it as a method. We'll call it as a method. Like this we'll have various names. In Pascal language we'll call the same thing as subroutines. Like this we'll have various names, right? మనకు కాలేజీలో ఒక పేరు ఉంటుంది, ఇంటికాడ ఒక పేరు ఉంటుంది, ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఒక పేరుతో పిలుస్తారు, లైక్ దట్. సిమిలర్లీ నేమ్ ఎట్లా పిలిచినా కానీ పర్సన్ మాత్రం సేమ్ పర్సనే కదా. సిమిలర్లీ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈజ్ సేమ్ బట్ ద వే దే ఆర్ కాలింగ్ ఈజ్ డిఫరెంట్. ఓకే ఫైన్. సో సింపుల్గా చెప్పాలంటే whenever you are writing a particular program or anything, you must should have to use the method concept. What is the main advantage of function or method? Can anybody answer? What is the main advantage of method or a function? Function ఎందుకు డిక్లేర్ చేయాలి అసలు? అడ్వాంటేజ్ చెప్పగలరు? ఎస్ మా, reusability. Very good. The main thing is reusability. That's it. Within one sentence we can say. The advantage of methods concept is reusability, because I will write group of statements at one location and I will reuse these group of statements. Wherever I require. Okay. Regard the places like so that is the advantage of methods. Okay. How we are going to write these methods? You know, right? You know already. This is simply same concept. So what the syntax of method means? Simply we can define a return type, and then we'll write method name, and then we'll write list of parameters. ఏమన్నా ఉంటే ఆ పారామీటర్స్ రాస్తాము. లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ పారామీటర్స్ ఇఫ్ ఎనీ, followed by block of statements. తెలుసు కదని చెప్పేసి సైలెంట్ ఉండిపోద్దనమ్మా. జస్ట్ మే కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ బికాస్ ఐ విల్ మేక్ సమ్ ఫ్యూ ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్స్. దెన్ at the last we'll write return statement. Return some value. Okay na? Is the last statement is compulsory for this is a general syntax. If you want to make it like what we can, if you want to make in our if I want to make representation in our format, I can write the same structure in 4 ways. What is that? A function, sorry, I don't want to call function because I am dealing with Java. A method first one I am writing. A method can return value. A method can return value and can take parameters. And can take return value as well as can take parameters. A method can return value but won't take parameters. A method won't return value but can take parameters. And another one is a method won't return a value and it doesn't take parameters. Doesn't take parameters. Can anybody answer? What do you mean? Which options will comes under void method? Saying that here, void method. Methods two types of basic తీసుకుంటే void method and non-void method. Which are the four options will comes under void method and which are the four options which of the options will comes under non-void method? If you understand the definition, you can answer. So when we go for void method and when we go for non-void method, void method ఎప్పుడు వెళ్తామమ్మా? Void means simply nothing. Nothing means I am not returning any value. I am not returning any value. If I am not returning any value means the result of this method don't want to use by the another method. ఈ మెథడ్ యొక్క రిజల్ట్ ఇంకొక మెథడ్ యూజ్ చేసుకోకూడదు అనుకుంటే I will go for void method. Means the result of one method don't want to use inside other method, then I'll go for declaring void method. At that time, is there any return value is there? No. Then void method comes under 3 and 4 options. There is no return value, but it may contain it may take parameters or it may not take parameters. Coming to non-void method, what is the meaning? Simply opposite this one. If the result of one method used by inside other method, then I will go for non-void method. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఈ ఫంక్షన్ ఈ మెథడ్ లో ఉన్న వాల్యూ నేను రిటర్న్ చేయాలి. ఐ మీన్ ఇంకో ఫంక్షన్ యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలి అంటే కంపల్సరీ ఏం చేయాలి? ఈ వాల్యూ నేను రిటర్న్ చేయాలి. Then that comes under the options of 1 and 2. 1 and 2 means మీరు చూడండి, మీరు చూసుకోండి, మీకు అర్థం కాకపోతే రిటర్న్ వాల్యూ సమ్ డేటా టైప్. మీకు తెలుసని చెప్పేసి నేను కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్ చెప్తున్నాను. ఇక రిటర్న్ టైప్ కి రిటర్న్ వాల్యూకి డిఫరెన్స్ చెప్పగలరా? వాట్ ఇస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ రిటర్న్ టైప్ అండ్ రిటర్న్ వాల్యూ? Is there any difference? Return type defines very good. Return type defines the type of data that is written by the method. Return value means the value which it is written. Return type simply defines the type of value returned by the method. I mean, here you have to define the type of data, type of value. Type of value means red type means simply I can say that is data types I need to write. whether I'm returning integer data type or float data type or whatever it may be. Okay. Okawela, if a function is not returning any value, then what is the data type I need to use here? Void. I need to use void. If this function, this method is not returning any data type, I have to write here void. Okay. Now. So that is what about return type. Method name means any valid identifier. Method name is any valid identifier. Any valid identifier. But I am suggesting you that if this method name contains more than one word, more than one word, what you have to do is first letter of the word should be small, and the consecutive words, first letter should be uppercase. For example, Java language CSS అనుకుందాం. అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఎ మెథడ్ నేమ్. అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలంటే జావా లాంగ్వేజ్ సిఎస్సి అనేది 3 వర్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో దాంట్లో మనము ఫస్ట్ లెటర్ స్మాల్ ఉండాలి. ఫస్ట్ వర్డ్ లో ఫస్ట్ లెటర్ స్మాల్ ఉండాలి. నెక్స్ట్ కాన్సిక్యూటివ్ వర్డ్స్ వస్తాయి కదా, దాంట్లో ఫస్ట్ లెటర్ క్యాపిటల్ లెటర్ ఉండాలి. జావా లాంగ్వేజ్ సిఎస్సి. So this is the rule you have to follow whenever you are writing answers in the exam also, because this is the rule followed by the industry. Means we can simply say that first letter should be small, and the consecutive subsequent words should be the capital letters. ఇప్పుడు ఈ నోటేషన్ ఏమనొచ్చంటే అమ్మా, we can call this notation as Hungarian notation or camel case notation అంటాము. Hungarian notation or camel case notation. Return value is always 0 or 1. Harish, no, it can be any value. 0, 1 ne kaadu. Rectify this. I will చెప్తానమ్మా. No problem. Return value is not always 0 or 1. It can be any value. Okay. Next, if you take list of parameters, if any, ఏమైనా parameters ఉంటే యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తాం. ఇప్పుడు ఈ parameters ఏమని చెప్తాం? These parameters, can anybody answer? We can call it as formal parameters. Or we can call it as dummy parameters. And block of statements, you know. Return value means return is a keyword which is used to return the value to the calling function. Defines the value to the calling function. Here you will get question, which is called, which is calling. Calling method and calling method and called method. Okay na? So దేంట్లో ఉన్న parameters ని ఫార్మల్ parameters అంటాము. కాల్డ్ మెథడ్ లో ఉన్న వాటిలన్నిటిని ఫార్మల్ parameters అంటాము. కాలింగ్ మెథడ్ లో ఉన్న వాటిలన్నిటిని యాక్చువల్ parameters అంటాము. If I make any mistake anywhere, let me know. Just going. Yes. Okay na? Fine. So ఇప్పుడు this is all about the method syntax. So దీంట్లో మీరు క్లియర్ గా చూసుకుంటే ఈ ఫస్ట్ లైన్ what we can call it as method heading. We can call it as method heading, and the remaining thing we can call it as method body. We can call it as method body. Method body. Okay, now. Fine. So this is all about your method. Okay, here you will have mainly two more important points are there. Let me like మీకు calling method calling simple గా మీకు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పాలంటే let me take crystal clear గా ఉంటుంది ఎగ్జాంపుల్. Let me take a fan. అది ఫ్యాన్ అనుకోండి, నేను రాసేస్తాను ఇక్కడ వర్డ్ ఫ్యాన్. This is a roof. This roof contains a fan. ఈ ఫ్యాన్ మీరు ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఆపరేట్ చేస్తారమ్మా? ప్రతిరోజు పైకి ఎక్కి దాన్ని తిప్పుతారా? లేదు. We can operate from a side wall. We can operate from a side wall through one switch. Through one switch. This one, what I can call, and this one, what I can call. This one I can call it as called method, and this one I will call it as calling method. మీకు గుర్తుండిపోవాలి, డిఫరెన్స్ అది మర్చిపోకూడదు. ఇంకా కాలింగ్ మెథడ్, మనము కాల్డ్ మెథడ్ కాల్ చేస్తున్నాం. కాల్డ్ మెథడ్ కాల్ చేస్తాం. If I want to execute a called method, we must and should have to explicitly make switch on. Switch ని కంపల్సరీగా ఆన్ చేస్తేనే కాల్డ్ మెథడ్ అవుతుంది. కాల్డ్ మెథడ్ అవుతుంది, అవునా కదా? ఎస్. ఇప్పుడు ఈ కాల్డ్ మెథడ్ అనేది బాడీ ఉండాలా లేదా? ఫర్ ద కాల్డ్ మెథడ్ there should be exist some body. Without body, even though if you switch on, it won't work. Even though you switch on, it won't work. Meaning that if I want to make the method concept successful, method concept perfect, I should have a called method, and a calling method, ఈ called method ఏమంటాయమ్మా? Called method simply a combination of method heading and method body. Method heading and method body. What about calling method? In calling method, it is a what? It is a combination of method name and list of formal parameters if n. If n. ఏమన్నా ఉంటే ఒకటి పిలుస్తాం. So which one will execute at runtime? Okay, fine. So generally, if you go in depth about this method concept, we'll have two more things are there. One is method overriding, and method overloading. Method overriding and method overloading. Can anybody answer? What do you mean method overriding and what do you mean method overloading? So చూడండి ఒకసారి important points. Method overriding means method heading అనేది సేమ్ అమ్మా. Method heading is same, but method body is different. Method body is different. Method overloading ante it will change everything. Method name okkate same amma. Method name is same, but its signature is different. Its signature is different. What do you mean by signature? Signature means list of parameters. Don't think anything. List of parameters means signature means list of parameters. This list of parameters ఎలా ఉండొచ్చు? Signature different అంటే ఎలా ఉంటుందమ్మా? Total number of parameters may change. Total number of parameters may change, or type of parameters may change. Parameters may change, or order of parameters also change. Order of parameters also. I mean, what I'm saying is, ఇప్పుడు తీసుకుందాం. Okay, now there exists. I have written int a is a function. I have written int a comma int b. Int a comma int b. I have written one method name a. Method name a int c. See here, what kind of concept I have applied here is method overriding or overloading. Your Satya, your definition is wrong. చూసుకోండి ఒకసారి. With the different parameters means what is the meaning of that? With the different signature. Signature means it can be the order of parameters or type of parameters or number of parameters may change. So the return statement whatever, so according to this one it will comes under method overloading. Means method name is same but signature is different. What is that signature? The total number of parameters are changed. Here two parameters are there, here only one parameter is there. Only one parameter is there. Okay, now fine. And then anything would you like to have? Okay, so we'll stop here because it's almost 3. It's not almost 3, it's 3. And if you have any doubts, you can ask them. So in the next class, we will start with the classes, because to start with the concept of classes, we have to know compulsory variables, data types, and method sum. So now my task is very easy. Simply I can say that collection of data types and methods. Variable data types and methods. So already we given in depth చెప్పేసాను. Okay. So anyway, I will discuss. So to start with the concept of classes, I have gone through all the concept of variables, data types, and methods. So if you have any doubts regarding methods concept, you can ask. ఇంకా చాలా ఉందమ్మా. If you go in depth discussion, you can go for like this continuously. But I don't want to go through that because I want only up to classes concept. Any doubts you can ask.